2 years later, you had the Ian Johnson year when they won the Fiesta Bowl. He started in Nebraska Kearney. He was at Sacramento State. He was under Dan Hawkins at Colorado, and that stuff's not even on his Wikipedia page. And then, he comes back to Boise State, almost goes to Washington with Coach Peterson, ends up staying, being D-line coach, which wasn't his position, and then working his way up to linebacker coach, and then defensive coordinator, and then, taking the leap, taking a chance on himself, going to the Pac-12, going to Oregon, being there for 2 years. And honestly, I probably felt like I knew he was getting calls already for coaching jobs, but I figured he was probably another year or two away from Boise State. But, the timing of it, timing is everything. They walked away from their head coach, who was also a Boise State alum. He walked away from them and things just aligned. Coach Peterson, who walked away from Washington, was part of the process. So I'm sure that had something to do with it as well. Relationships, anything you're in. But just to tie all that together, man, it's like I said, the process works. Dreams come true. Things come together. I know his sister went to Boise State too. So his family lives in Idaho. I think he has 2 or 3 kids. And so I'm just really happy for them. I'm really happy for my family, even though, none of my family is, especially on that side, is super close. It's like he's always been kind of the catalyst of what gets us together. We went to the Rose Bowl last year. The only thing that changed was we were wearing Eugene green instead of Boise State blue. Because 10 years ago, it was the same thing when we were traveling up to Fresno State or San Jose State to watch him play. And to keep it buck, that's a lot of the reason why I love football so much. As a adolescent, getting to go to those games at San Jose State, Fresno State, those were the top 2 schools that I wanted to go to coming out of high school. And just so happens they also have great journalism programs. But besides that fact, like watching him playing for his coaches who ended up coaching at Roosevelt while I was there, just coincidentally, I didn't even tell them I was Andy's cousin. They found out. He told them. I didn't even tell them. And they pulled me in the office and were like, you didn't tell us your cousin was one of our greatest players ever? Like, I was like, no, I'm trying to make my own legacy. But just knowing all that, man, it's like I'm just really happy for him. And like I said, it's a big part of the reason why I've fallen in love with football, why I've worked in football. And so just to see his hard work pay off and get to where he wanted to get to is like, okay, we can get to where we need to get to, all of us.
Dope. Yeah, congrats.
And Latinos run Boise State because the AD's also Latino.
Yeah, freshly hired. I forget where he was before, but he was really successful where he was at before. So, yeah, salute to them. And in some cases, yeah, the process works. And this case, it's a happy ending and a start to a new beginning in the Boise State era because they always find a way to hire the right guys. Harsin had a great run at Boise State. No matter how you feel about what Peterson was or what he did, Harsin had a great run there. And now he's going to Auburn. Avalos, he can usher in the new era. So it'll be interesting. In this era of the Harsin, they got more three-star guys. They even got, I think, a couple 4-star guys. But they definitely got way more 3-star guys in the past, 5 to 10 years. Like former Londale Cardinal and cornerback Jalen Walker. So, they definitely get more Cali guys. So it should be interesting to see what Boise State does, in the Mountain West. So, but speaking of Boise State, and conferences, the formerly defunct WAC conference, the Western Athletic Conference, is coming back, according to WAC Commissioner Jeff Hurd.
Which, by the way, you can't go out the WAC and you only have one team on fucking Washington.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how they do that. I feel like
if anything, it should be like this fucking Southwest.
That's the SWAC. That's HBCU thing. That's already taken. Yeah, and they have like a rich history. Like they have like hundreds of Hall of Famers from the SWAC. Which, by the way, people saying Nick Saban, because he passed Bear Bryant, he has 7 national titles, most all time. They called him the greatest head coach of all time. I'm not going to go that far because literally the head coach of the year trophy is named after a black dude, Eddie Robinson, Grambling head coach. Arguably one of the greatest head coaches of all time.
Let me put it to you like this. The wax team farthest west is CBU, which is where? Do you know where that is?
That's like Utah or some shit.
Riverside.
CBU?
That's right, baby.
Yeah, CBU is in Riverside. Right
CV or CB?
CBU is right there in Riverside off McKinley.
They have no type of football out there.
They're going to try to bring back...
and GCU, bro. Stop.
Grand Valley Christian or some shit? Or Grand Canyon? Yeah. I figured it was something like that. They're going to try to bring back, what's the one that serves Occidental? They're going to try to coax Occidental out of retirement. Yeah, can we get eligibility? Just go play there?
Yeah, so it looks like they took the Big Sky Conference and the Southland Conference.
Yeah, it's
and added those teams.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh, really? CBU's going to have football?
I guess. I don't know.
There's going to be a lot of athletes falling through the cracks, so they need somewhere to play football. And Azusa Pacific got rid of their football program.
Oh, yeah. Azusa Pacific's losing a crap ton of money, and I'm sure Cal Baptist is very happy about that.
Oh, yeah. That hatred and beef is real.
So, basically, the WAC is going to be cut into 2 sections, one with football and one with no football. So, it looks like the division with football will be Southern Utah, Dixie State, New Mexico. No. I don't know, but yeah, this
New Mexico, Mexico State.
This article's confusing, but yeah, basically there's going to be 2 divisions within the conference, one with football and one without football, which is what they could have did when they dissolved football in the WAC. But
once they lost Boise State and TCU, it was pretty much over. And Utah. Once everybody went to the Mountain West, it was over. It was dead.
But yeah, the reason why they did that was because the WAC was dissolving too.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, this PC3 conference, it's coming in the next decade. I'm telling you.
All right, finish up college football because we're already up on time.
Yeah, so lastly, Bill O'Brien got hired as offensive coordinator for the Clemson Tide. He was a former coach at Penn State and a college assistant coach in general. So Alabama does a great job of getting coaches with NFL experience, and they can kind of rebrand themselves in their role at Alabama. It's a win-win, quid pro quo type situation. You know, one hand washes the other. That's why Nick Saban is a genius. Like, he's the greatest college coach of this era in general, like hands down. It's like it goes Pete Carroll, and then Pete Carroll transitioned into Urban Meyer, and then Urban Meyer transitioned into Nick Saban. Like, it's unquestioned. 7 national championships in 10 years? It's insane. Probably never going to see it again. Because I thought Clemson was going to do it, but yeah, they didn't. And a National Signing Day for high school football recruits is fast approaching. The early signing day was, like in August, September-ish. Kind of going to be interesting how this plays out, because literally in California, nobody's fucking played any football. So it's like 2 recruiting classes have gone by, and we didn't get to see any football. So a lot of guys just committed early because they already had the offers based off their previous tape. I feel bad for these upcoming seniors and juniors, because some of you might go 2 years since you haven't played, and they don't know what you look like, play like, or anything. But they got all these camps that people are going to, so good luck with that. That's the end of college football.
Oh, and one thing you didn't put on the rundown, you should have, was Brad Holmes becoming general manager of the Lions. We got one.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that broke today.
Long time long time in the Rams front office. 18 years, I think they said he spent with the organization. And now he'll be he was a scouting director for the Rams, and now he's the GM of the Lions. So shout out to him. Again, we got one.
Louis Riddick deserves a job somewhere. I'm just keep saying that. But hey, don't be in a rush to give up that TV money. So yeah, on to the next.
I flipped it on you.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell happened to everything I wrote?
Yeah, like half of the things you had on there you already mentioned like 3 times throughout the show.
I teased it.
Not really. You already got to the content. You were going to regurgitate it and take your tangent, and it was going to be awkward. So, changed it.
Yeah, sure.
Audible.
Creative differences.
Nah, not really.
I know, I'm just walking around.
All right, so I guess we'll do touchdown or turnover since you played this song. Jared Valdir eliminated from the playoffs while he was on the Colts last week. This week he signs with the Packers practice squad. Could play the next coming weeks as they advance. Touchdown or turnover, Jared Valdir, first ever player to play 2 playoff games with 2 different teams.
Should I go on about how you flipped that or nah? I'm gonna just answer the question. See how I did that? Yeah. It's a touchdown. They made the rules like this. You played on the Colts. He came out of retirement, bro. He's winning. He came out of retirement. Patriots didn't play for the Colts. Now he's going to the Packers and might win a ring.
Well, he played with the Packers last year towards the end of the year too. But yeah, one of the last great Al Davis picks. So shout out to Jared Valdir.
A left tackle that actually worked.
Out of Hillside. Nowhere.
And not Hillside in Oakland. But Hillside somewhere.
Texas, I think.
Who knows?
There was another player too from there.
But he's like 6'8".
The same year. Or like another year later.
6'8", 300. He was stupid athletic too.
Next up, the Bills signed Devontae Freeman to their practice squad. Touchdown and turnover.
That's a touchdown. Because Zach Moss got hurt. But honestly, Freeman would be the best person to lead that running back room. Because he can teach them, like, look, this is what happened when we lost 28-3 to the Patriots. This is what not to do.
I always get Singletary and Montgomery mixed up.
Montgomery's way faster.
And
Singletary ran a 4.7, but has game speed and is FAU's all-time leading rusher.
Hey, shout out to our boy Ray for making the joke. The difference between Dan Quinn's cover 3 and Gus Bradley's cover 3 is, well, Dan Quinn's is good for about 3 quarters and then fails in the 4th, versus Gus Bradley's is just trash throughout. So shout out to him for that joke.
Wonderful.
Next up,
man! Hey!
Colts left tackle Anthony Costanzo retires at age 32. Touchdown or turnover?
He was a modest tackle at best. You're talking about somebody who was never elite?
He was a good tackle. Just a good tackle.
He wasn't better than Marcus McNeil, but okay. He got hurt a bunch of times, and honestly, he gave up a lot of sacks to his quarterback at the time, Andrew Luck. A lot of people thought he was going to be a bust, but he turned it around enough to be like, well, he's the best tackle we got. There's not much else out there. So it'll be interesting to see if they move Brandon Smith to tackle or not. It'll be interesting to see what the Colts do on the offensive line. But yeah, he had a hell of a career as far as coming out of Boston College and what he did. So kudos to him. But, you know, career that leaves you like, well, what if?
Yeah. Where was he drafted?
22nd, I think.
In the first round. Yeah, 22nd overall.
2011. Out of Boston College.
Jeez, that seems like so long ago.
It almost felt like a surprise pick, too.
He went in the same draft as a lot of people.